They may eat mass amounts of food in one moment or one period for like a video or a challenge or whatever, but outside of that, when it's over, perhaps you don't know what that might look like. A lot of them do suffer with things like bulimia, for example. Oftentimes I get asked, be that in the comment section or through DMs, how do certain influencers eat so much food or seemingly eat so much food without getting fat? And it's a question that many of you may have, and it's a question I figured, I'm going to answer today, but I'm going to take a slightly different approach by looking at somebody outside of fitness and looking at a food influencer, being Karissa Eats, where she's talking about how much food does she actually eat as a food influencer, where she has a full week of eating. And we're going to just go through a couple of things, talk about a couple of points, and I'm going to actually tell you the realities behind how people seemingly eat so much food without gaining weight.
For dinner, I went to a Korean street food spot where they have a cornflake crusted Korean corn dog. It was huge with so much melty mozzarella, and I think the sauce was a combo of like mayo, mustard, ketchup, and maybe a hot sauce.
So immediately you'll look at food like this, which is obviously heavily fried, got loads of cheese in it, and quite frankly is going to be very fat dense. And we know that fat is the most calorie dense macronutrient. Having 9 calories per gram, that's going to indicate this corn dog, although not a lot of volume, is going to have a lot of calories.
Funnel fries, they were out of the green sauce, but they gave me caramel sauce instead. And you know what? They were really crispy and warm and like super sugary, of course, but not too oily or anything. And listen, this is definitely just a frozen pizza that they stuck in the oven for a few minutes.
Pairing that with things like desserts and pizzas, the calorie content is going to be pretty high. But that kind of does beg the question, is how does she eat this much food and actually seemingly be in fair shape? She's not heavily overweight, she's not gaining mass amounts of fat from previous videos when I've kind of compared, and quite frankly, it's because this isn't normal. When you look at food influencers or fitness influencers who go through their full day of eating where they're eating loads of calories, or they do massive cheat days, for example, they don't eat like that all the time. Oftentimes they may eat like this in one day and obviously consume a mass amount of calories in that one day, but then in the following days continue to then be in a deficit, which over the week seems to average out at a calorie maintenance. You're not going to gain fat in a day, for example. You essentially want to look at weekly calories more than daily calories. So if you eat 1,200 calories over on one day, but then 200 calories under on the remaining 6 days of the week, you're going to net back out to maintenance. So you can mitigate things that way. The second thing is when you have like full weeks of eating where she's seemingly eating loads of food throughout the week, they typically don't have a mass number of meals each day. So for example, in some occasions, she may have one massive meal which may have 2,500, 3,000 calories, let's say, but then probably not eat again for the rest of the day. Or if she does eat again for the rest of the day, it's probably going to be a lot more controlled and a lot more within reason when considering caloric intake.
I've been wanting to try this spot for so long, but it's like right next to Times Square and I'm just never up here. So I finally made it. We got the suya burger, and suya is like this smoked, spiced meat skewer. It's so garlicky.
And although watching this content can be quite fun, quite frankly, when I'm eating, I actually quite like to watch other people eating because it reminds me to continue eating, because sometimes I struggle with my appetite. So I actually find it quite enjoyable watching food content. It also gives me ideas of like what kind of food I might like to try or where I might like to go if I'm ever in certain areas. But one of the issues a lot of people face is that they will typically compare themselves to these influencers, be like, well, why can they eat so much but I can't? The thing is, you really have to consider a few things. The biggest thing that's going to influence how much food you can eat, so essentially your BMR, is actually going to be your height. So the taller you are, the more calories you probably need. The shorter you are, the less calories you probably need. Then on top of that, you've also got to consider things like tissue. How much muscle do you have? Contractile tissue is arguably the most metabolically active tissue, but then also fat tissue as well. Fat tissue is still metabolically active. 1 pound of muscle will burn X number of calories. A pound of fat will still burn calories, just not as much as muscle would. Although the difference probably isn't as large as you think. And also a thing to consider is how active are they? A lot of these influencers are very active. They either regularly go to the gym and resistance train to then have more muscle, or they're very active regarding expenditure. They do a lot of cardio, they walk a lot, things like that. All of these things contribute, but more often than not, none of them have any special kind of genetic advantage outside of maybe being taller than you. And pairing that with the fact that they probably actually mitigate or manage their calories on other days or around these kind of food events, it evens out pretty typically. Very quickly, throwing it down there. The Train Heroic is a big thing we're focusing on right now. Train Heroic is essentially the group coaching application which for less than $1 a day, you can follow a workout catered for either at home or at the gym, which is bloody fantastic. Not only do you get that workout, which has been written by me, you get access to the community message board where we can talk, you and I, as well as the other members of the group. You've also got access to loads of exclusive content, including weekly educational bits in which I'm presenting things to you that I wouldn't present elsewhere, be that tips, tricks, education, whatever it may be. In the future, we'll look at things like monthly Zoom Q&As, and maybe even a private members server somewhere for everybody to kind of come together and further build the community. And plus, there's a 7-day free trial if you fancy it, and that's always linked down below in the description.
And one side is everything, and then one side is like plain. I'm not sure if that was on purpose or if that's just something that they do here, but she's cute. This is their signature sandwich.
Firstly, paying $18 for a bagel, wild to me. There's a bagel place at one of the stations in London which is already overpriced, and you end up paying like $8 or $9, and that's crazy over here. One of the issues that stem from this is, again, this isn't Karissa's fault whatsoever, this is kind of just talk about a lot of these creators in general, is that they don't often actually tell you these things. So a lot of the things I've mentioned to you are things you probably haven't previously considered, but also things that probably haven't been told to you via these creators, especially those within the fitness industry, which I know this individual is not. And that very much leaves you subject to question, what am I doing wrong? What's wrong with me? All these things. Comparing yourself to all these other people really doesn't do anything for you. It certainly doesn't do any good for you. You are given the genetic hand you have been given, and you kind of have to make do. If you want to eat more food, you probably have to move more to mitigate that. Or you maybe need to be wiser with your choices regarding what food you are eating to increase volume whilst keeping calories managed. There is no magic pill that's really going to change that, sadly. And that's one of the issues people often run into, is that they're looking for something to change something that cannot be changed. Or if it can be changed, it's kind of on you and I to change, be that activity or food choices. And that probably kind of ties into the title. I'm not sure what it's going to be, but maybe something about, oh, what influencers aren't telling you, and someone's going to say, oh, clickbait. I'm like, you know what, you clicked on it, so it worked. You see the same sort of thing with like competitive eaters. You've got people like Furious Pete back in the day, Matt Stoney, Eric the Electric. All of these individuals are either in really good shape or are very slim, but they eat an obscene amount of food. But why is that? They can tolerate a lot by handling a lot because they've got maybe the stomach for it that you and I may not have. But when it comes to fat gain and whatnot, that's mitigated elsewhere through their weekly caloric intake, their activity, whatever it may be. Eric the Electric is a very active person. Furious Pete is a very muscular person, or at least was back in the day when I was watching him. I haven't watched him for years. Matt Stoney probably doesn't eat a mass amount of food outside of these challenges. The other consideration, which is a bit tricky to mention, but is a consideration nonetheless, regardless of whether you want to believe it or not, is, I'm not applying this here, I'm just saying universally, some creators or competitive eaters do sadly suffer with eating disorders. They may eat mass amounts of food in one moment or one period for like a video or a challenge or whatever, but outside of that, when it's over, perhaps you don't know what that might look like. A lot of them do suffer with things like bulimia, for example, which then is actually going to in turn contribute to how many of those calories have been digested. And it's a really harsh and sad reality to accept, but in some cases it is true. I'm not saying all the cases, and hopefully it's quite rare, but it is true, sadly. And that sadness is further enhanced because it really highlights to you how far people will go and what they will put themselves through, potentially even developing eating disorders, for the sake of content, which is a sad reality not only in the food world, but also the fitness world as well. People do some wild things for the sake of content and put themselves at some serious risk, both physical and mental, just for views, just for clicks, just for a bit of dollar and maybe even some relevance online. It is sad, but hopefully a few of these points I've mentioned have maybe explained a few things, or maybe helped you better understand why people seemingly eat so much more than you but aren't gaining mass amounts of weight, which is something you might expect to do if you were eating as much as they seemingly are. Like with all my videos, just my thoughts and opinions. I'd love to hear yours in the comment section below, so let me know. But until the next one, thank you for tolerating me, thank you for tolerating my waffle about food, and thank you for tolerating the video.